This is a guide on how to use the Rock Band 3 MIDI Pro Adapter for the Xbox 360 with the Alesis DM8 head for my kit, which is an Alesis DM8 module. What you'll find out is once you have it hooked up, your ride and your hi-hat won't work properly. The only places it'll trigger is right here at the crown, instead of triggering here, and then your high tom and your low tom, your high tom and your middle here will probably be triggered on the same floor tom. So everything's kind of messed up. If you have the DM6, it'll be configured properly, but for the DM8, you'll notice that nothing works properly. So this is a guide on how to get it to work. Sorry for the mess here. I'm in the middle of renovation, so this is all temporary for the next month, and then I'll move it back. But I'll show you how everything's connected. The reason everything doesn't work properly is because the DM8 uses a USB MIDI out, and this MIDI over here is just an input port. So you have to use an extra module here. Again, sorry for the mess, but you'll have to purchase one of these for about $7. This is a MIDI USB to MIDI input and output port jack converter. So what you do is take a USB cable and then plug it into your computer. So I have it plugged in right here. And then you take your MIDI converter, plug that in as well. In Windows 7, it should automatically find the drivers for that. In Windows 7, it'll also find the Alesis DM8 driver right off the web if you're connected to the internet. So then the output gets connected to the Rock Band 3 MIDI Pro Adapter. Let's go ahead and turn the Xbox 360 on. This is the DM8. What you need to do, so you don't have the wrong sounds coming out of these and have the wrong buttons being pushed on the Xbox 360, you have to pick a kit here, pick a sound that you want. So you can just hit the drum kit. If you're in some other MIDI, hit drum kit. There's a lot of different ones to choose from, but I'll just use this one for now. You want to edit the instrument, so you click that. You can see this screen change to edit instrument, and then you see F1 corresponds to instrument, so you can change your volume levels here, and F2 is your MIDI. So if I hit F2 now, it'll list things in order from the kick drum down here. I have a double bass pedal there, then snare, and then the rim of the snare, your tom 1, tom 2, tom 3. So this is where you want to configure everything. So in the Rock Band 3 MIDI Pro Adapter, you have these numbers that you need to follow. So on the Alesis DM8, you can't change the hi-hat input or the kick input, but everything else you can change. You'll have to, because this high tom, which says it's 48 or 50, I think on this one was set to something else. Yeah, it should be set back to default. So you see it's set to 47. So 47 would be low tom. You see right there. 47 low tom. So that's why every time you hit this, if this is a regular Rock Band kit, you will have red, yellow, blue, and green. But if you don't configure this, you have red, blue, blue, green, nothing here, nothing here. This will be blue and this will be green. So you just have to use this. So you can use this up down arrow, scroll over here and change that to 48. And 48 will be the high tom. And we are on tom 1. So these cables that come out of the head here are labeled. So tom 1, I have a cable going to here. So if you want to rearrange everything, you can plug it in wherever you want to. The triggers are on-off binary for most of these, so it doesn't really matter where you plug it in. And that comes to use over here because you can't change, what is it? There's something where you can't change the numbers on these, but what you can do is just take the cables and swap it between these two. So then this will be your blue, your ride, and this will be your green, your crash. If you don't switch the cables, this will be your blue and this will be your green, which will throw you off if you're trying to play red, yellow, blue, green. But then when you have to switch your pro mode, instead of going blue, green, you're going green, blue, and you get really confused, especially because it's backwards. So anyway, once you set all this, you can exit out. And we'll head back over here. And I have this extra piece of software that you need. Like it says in all other guides, you need MIDI aux. Download that for free. Just install it as a personal installation, so you don't need a serial license. And this is on Windows 7. It's 2015, so it's installing just fine. And then if this isn't working properly, you just have to go to Options, Data Mapping, and I have some junk over here. I'll delete it all. But basically all you need to do is hit Insert, and just don't change any of the values here. Hit OK. Then you want to turn map on after hitting OK, so you hit OK again. You can see the map here is turned blue. You can click it to turn it off. But that'll put all the inputs through. Oh, here's the other thing. When you first open MIDI aux, you'll have to set up your devices. So this VicSync MIDI converter that I bought for $7 online is listed as MIDI out, or this other USB 2.0 MIDI device. If you don't see that, you're going to have to close the MIDI aux, unplug and replug everything in, then open up MIDI aux again. And then for your input, you want the DM8. So that's all running. It's going to reset everything. So if I come back over here and hit a device, hit anything over here, you can see that the input registered here. So once you have everything configured over here according to these numbers, you don't have to do anything in MIDI aux. You just have to do it here. Then you can hear all the different sounds that are correct. So here's the yellow hi-hat, here's the blue. The only reason it's over here is because I switched these cables underneath. Swap these two. I don't physically swap the cymbals, I just swap the cables. Here's the green. Here's green. And select does work. And scroll does work. And here's the foot pedal. And that's it. If you want to tweak the settings, the sensitivity settings are on the MIDI Pro Adapter here. And that's it. That's how to use the Alesis DM8 with the Rock Band Pro Adapter, MIDI Pro Adapter.